JJ?
It's We Were Gamers episode 473. Uh, Andy is not with us today, sadly.
It is down to you, and it is down to me.
And we'll make it work together, won't we?
That we will.
Man, I'm out of it tonight, dude.
It's you know what? It's doing the thing here. I don't know about down there, but it's doing the thing here that we have had the last 4 or 5 Octobers, maybe, where we get a temperature spike right before Halloween, and then the temperature rapidly drops again. So apparently the Santa Anas are blowing through again, and it's supposed to be 90 here tomorrow.
Yeah, it is doing that here as well. I think we're supposed to get 88 or 87 or something like that here.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit here. And then I think on Friday, it's supposed to drop off a cliff to like 72.
Yeah, ours drops. Oh, mine just revised up to 92 tomorrow, and then 15-degree drop for Friday. So it should be very nice for Friday evening for being out trick or treating.
Yeah, so are you going to take the kids and go?
Yeah, I think we are going to take the kids. We had talked about meeting up with Andy and their kids and all going trick or treating as a group.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so looking forward to that.
Do they have like a designated location, or is it just around their neighborhood?
At the
Do
very
you
least,
know?
I think we would probably go around their neighborhood. They have a nice little loop and then a little extra, so that would be good. And I know there are some other neighborhoods in walking distance, so I'll leave the
Cool.
routing up to them because they know better. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and I guess his kids are not too old for it yet, right? They're still in that range.
no, I think they're still in the enjoying of the dressing up in costumes and walking around phase, not the too cool for school phase.
I'm sure they're probably enjoying the candy still.
Well, yes.
I mean, everyone enjoys the candy, so fair enough.
Yep.
Uh,
We have had much fun. So we've done something that wasn't a thing when we were kids back in the day, but trunk or treats
mm-hmm.
have seen a huge spike in popularity in recent years, which is kind of fun. They're fun events, and you get to see people be super creative with some of them. But as a parent with littles, it is fun to see the creativity of other parents who basically get to use kids who are too young to have their own opinions on costumes as kind of a canvas for whatever funny or clever or outlandish costumes they can come up with.
Make the kid into a prop and do the whole thing, big,
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
big, group family costume or whatever. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So always entertaining to see that.
Yeah, I think that stuff started coming around like in COVID and stuff like that, right? Like right around
Definitely,
then.
definitely in the immediate aftermath of COVID, because that first year was like candy shoots and people doing, a table at the end of their driveway while they sat on the porch.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think in the year following that trunk or treats, I feel like we're everywhere that next year.
yeah. Just maybe it was already starting to happen and it just popularized it or something. I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, we don't get a ton of people here for Halloween, so it'll probably be pretty low key for us. But we did miss out on. Halloween is at the end of the week, and it's always an awkward timing. If you want to carve a pumpkin, we like carving pumpkins. You guys do that?
Yep. Yeah, we do that. We will be
It,
doing that.
it's an awkward timing because if you carve it the weekend before, which is the convenient time, by Friday and Saturday, it's starting to get a little mushy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially somewhere where, well, like we were just talking about, where the heat's going to spike up to 90 degrees.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been holding off on carving our pumpkins, and I think we're gonna maybe do it later this week, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. By the time maybe folks will hear this by then, before Halloween.
Yeah, ours might be, we were talking about it, ours might be Friday morning,
Yeah,
just in time kind of thing.
yeah. I don't think we would do it on Friday, but maybe we would. I don't know. We could. Um, so we'll see. I'm not sure. But here's the hot tip, man. I don't know if you tried this before, but maybe you already know this tip. I don't know. Don't cut the top of the pumpkin.
Cut the bottom of the pumpkin.
Yes.
Uh-huh. I have been told this before, and I've maybe tried it once.
It works a lot better. And number one, it's easier because you can make it wider. You know, like
Yep.
you could just make the whole bottom of the pumpkin like wide, wide ring, right? So it's really easy to put your light or your candle or whatever you're going to put inside there. Um, but someone was telling me it keeps better. I don't know if I believe that one as much.
I have, the person who told me to do it told me the same thing. And I feel like the one time I tried it, it did actually keep a little bit better. It seals itself, depending on what your weather is, it seals itself better against moisture getting in the top of it.
Yeah, and like I'm pretty confident the actual answer is like it's going to do better the less area you remove out of the pumpkin. Period. Right?
Sure, yeah.
It's like if you make two tiny little holes in the mouth or whatever, it's going to do better than like a big elaborate design. Unless you're
Yeah,
one of those
absolutely.
people who does the like very thin like shaving shading kind of thing, you know?
And then
Um,
more power to you.
yeah, exactly. That couldn't be me. Um, but yeah, so I think we'll do that this year again, and I think we have a fun little time with our pumpkins every year, so I'm excited for that. But I think like last year we got like four total trick or treaters or something. It was pretty sad in our neighborhood, so I'm not too confident we'll be getting many people.
Yep.
But you know who might be getting people?
Who's
Our
that?
good friend Andy. He
Yes, indeed.
he needs some help. Sounds like we have some. Yeah, we have a report from the man in the field.
We were sent some missives before recording this evening.
Yeah. So what do we think we can do with his team here? Uh, he's shown his matchups here. Although I guess the matchup head to head stuff doesn't matter, right?
Not as much. I think it just shows us what
It's
what
just
he's facing off against as the lowest projected person. I think that's how he said his league is set up.
okay. So we does Baker play this week or is he on a bye? Because I know we
That
need to
is a good
we
question.
need to
Tampa
get him.
Bay, what is our
Okay, they
schedule looking like?
they are on a bye this week. All right. So we need to get
So he needs a
him some up.
quarterback.
So he has Bo Nix. I don't super love Bo Nix, but you got to imagine there's a better play than him this week on the waivers, right? Probably.
Yes, who's he playing? Houston,
Yeah. That's not great. Who was the one that got dropped? Jaden Daniels.
who did not play last week.
Correct. As a Jaden Daniels owner, I'm well aware.
Yeah, then I don't need to tell you.
He's playing Seattle. That's not particularly great.
No, no, no,
So
no, no.
I don't know who else is on his waiver. Andy could consider picking up a better QB if there's a good option out there. But absent that, here are the guys
Looks
on the
like Hertz
waivers.
got dropped if you wanted to roll the dice there, but
Ooh, yeah, that could be an improvement. That could be an improvement.
who do the Eagles have this week? Let's see what defense they're playing against. Uh, seeing them. Oh, are they on bye this week? They might be
Uh,
on bye this week.
well, that would make it a problem. Might be worth
Yes.
picking him up though, because Hertz probably going to have good matchups down the road. Certainly better than Bo Nix, maybe I would say fantasy wise. Um. Okay, so here are the players that hit the waivers that aren't the quarterbacks. We got Marvin Harrison Jr., Ashton Janty, Kyron Williams, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Terry McLaurin, Brock Bowers, Romeo Dobbs, Cam Scadaboo out for the season. Don't touch him.
Hmm.
I assume that's Wandale Robinson.
I think so.
Evan Ingram. Is that Javante Williams, running back? Yeah, I think that's
Running
right.
back, yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, Emeka Ibuka, Raheed Shaheed, and Hertz. Obviously,
Now. You know what? I'm gonna throw this out there up top.
Mhm.
Given that if he needs a running back, given that Christian McCaffrey is was dropped in his own waivers, I might try and shark everybody and take Tyrone Tracy instead. Because I bet you no one owns him, and with Scattaboo having gone down, Tracy is the next guy up
I think that's a
in
really
New York.
I think it's a really smart plan. And I think New York's going to play enough and run enough that he's certainly an upgrade over like who we got on this roster that is like not that great. He's probably an upgrade over like Monongai or Jordan Mason, probably, right? Um, for wide receivers, I feel like Andy has like pretty decent running backs in Achan and Swift. You're not dropping either of those guys. Walker, you could upgrade. He's not great. Um,
Yep. He could try and get Williams. Williams has done really well running for the Rams.
Kyron Williams, yeah.
Yep.
I think that's probably the prime running back here to target that isn't McCaffrey. Obviously, McCaffrey's the best one on here, but I don't
Yes.
think Andy wants to try and go all in and then probably not get him and then be annoyed, right?
Yeah,
Because like
because
those,
he doesn't lead in budget.
yeah, I think Kyron and Janty would be your running back targets there. I don't know how good Janty has been. I don't have him in any leagues. Not a lot of awesome wide receivers on this list, to be honest. I kind of don't like any of these guys. Ibuka, maybe if you can get him with Mike Evans out for a while, he's probably good if he's playing. Um,
That's true. Yep.
but yeah, I have Wandale Robinson too. He's mid. Like Dobbs has been good, but is really up and down depending on if Jordan Love is doing good today or not. Right? Tough one, man. I don't. Yeah, I like the Tyrone Tracy call though. I think that might be the best option because you're totally right. No one owns him, right? Like he's
Right.
not,
Yeah. Because why would anyone have him before this week?
and he is on a bye this coming week, right? I think. Are the Giants on a bye?
No, the Giants play this week. They are at home hosting the 49ers.
Okay. So yeah, I would go for him. He'll definitely be free. Like you shouldn't have to pay any money to get him. Um, and he is for sure a good pickup. Uh, otherwise, of these guys that are out here, do you like anyone else?
I'm looking at this list. Um, no, no one's really jumping out.
Yeah, I would see if you could get an upgrade over. See if you can get Hurts maybe for a little bit,
Yep.
or if there's a QB on the waiver wire who has a better matchup than Bo Nix, maybe. Um, yeah, honestly, like I don't know. It's hard to see without being able to see the full waiver wire, but I definitely think like some of these dudes are not awesome. Like you're not going to be excited about playing Wilson at this point going forward, or Monongai, um, or Kamara, even probably at this point with only 4 or 5
Yeah,
teams left.
he might be. That might be safe to drop with as bad as New Orleans offense has been, because Kamara has been very pedestrian so far this season.
Yeah, New Orleans is changing their QB this week too, I think, so that's going to be really rough.
That's even worse.
I mean, maybe they'll run more, but like their team isn't good. So like I don't know that you're going to, it's like running into a stacked box is not really running.
Yes, and they're also playing in LA at the Rams, which is not exactly the friendliest defense to be making big changes playing against.
Yeah, that's tough. Man, rough. Sorry, Andy, you're in a tough spot there. You'll have to let us know how you did. Uh, good luck to you.
Hopefully, we have steered you well.
Yeah. Well, you know who was steering everyone well a couple nights ago, Michael? The World Series, man. Have you been watching?
We definitely caught the ending of what would have been Game 3 by the time people hear this, because there will have been a couple more games by then. But yeah, there have been. I mean, there have been some crazy records set so far this postseason, both in the run up to and now in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is talking about that game against the Brewers where Shohei put on like the all-time great performance. The game that just happened, which was game 4, um, Shohei was pitching. He didn't do like horrible, but he didn't do amazing.
I mean, he pitched like he had been playing an 18 inning game the night before.
Right, and that's the real story. The real story is that 18 inning game. So you said you caught the end of it. You didn't watch all of it.
No, the last 4 or 5 innings.
So I didn't even start really paying attention until like the 7th or 8th inning, maybe the 9th inning, as Monday Night Football had ended.
Right.
And so
You
then I
switched over.
so then I switched over, and my wife had been watching the whole time, right? And she's like, "Oh, the game's almost over. Let's watch the end." I was like, "All right, yeah, sure."
Yep. Famous last words.
Well, very famous because so I had another reason to want to pay attention. My dad was at that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my brother-in-law had a client that he owed uh, tickets to the World Series to. And so, for whatever reason, it had to be when Canada made it. And so he decided, this was the first one in LA. This was the one he was going to come out for.
Okay.
And so he offered my dad another ticket, right? So it would be him, my dad, my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law's client, and then I guess his brother-in-law.
Okay.
Anyway, the four of them. Um, and that's like a convenient number for buying tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a business expense for him, so he's just like whatever, you know.
Yeah, write it
Um,
off.
yeah. So what's one more ticket, right? Uh, so my dad was there,
Okay.
but like I didn't hear from him the entire game. No. Either his phone wasn't working or he wasn't, on it. Which he's older. He's our parents' age. He's not
Sure. Yeah. But also you're
technologically.
at a World Series game, right? You want to be
Yeah, come on. Um, so I called him the next day, as the day of we're recording this, and I was like, so, how'd it go? And he told me, how it was and everything. But he was just like, people were just delirious. Everyone in the stands was just completely delirious by the time it was
Yeah, I can't
rolling
even
around. Yeah, people were just like, I think everyone would have cheered if any team had gotten a homer. He's like, if the game had just ended, everyone would cheer. I don't think they care who won anymore by the end.
Yeah, right at that point it's almost midnight local time, so if you've come in from Canada, your body feels like it's 3 a.m. You've sat essentially through a double header, right?
Yeah, not even essentially, completely, right?
Yeah, completely through a double header.
2 full 9 inning games, and they had gotten there like the game started at 5 o'clock Pacific, 5 ish
Yep.
Pacific. They had gotten there around 3.
Oh, sure, to see warm up and
Yeah, I mean, you're going to the World Series. Hell yeah, you go like see all the stuff, right? Of
oh yeah.
course. So he was there. They stayed all 18 innings, which like props to them. Good job. Which I mean, yes, I would too, of course. But there are some people who wouldn't, right? Like they
Yeah.
just couldn't take the time. He was there for almost 12 hours because he didn't get home until 2. You
I'm
know,
I'm sure that trying to get out of Chavez Ravine after that game was its own craziness.
I think he said it was 45 minutes from getting in his car to the end to exiting the parking lot.
I can believe that having had to drive out of there after just a regular game.
Yeah. So, do you want to take a guess at how much parking was?
Oh, I'm gonna go with parking was $80.
That was actually a really good guess. Do you know how much it is normally there?
I don't. I think I heard someone talking about how much parking was though, so I have a little a
Okay.
priori information.
Yeah. So I think it is $75 when he bought it when it first went on sale. And like to be clear, they bought these tickets immediately when they knew the Blue Jays had clinched and there was going to be a game in LA on this day.
Sure, yep.
So he went and bought the parking the day that they found they had got the tickets, right? Like
Hmm.
immediately. $75. I
Okay.
think 80. And by the way, it was sold out. You couldn't get parking day of. It was just not an option. There
Oh,
was just
I'm
no.
sure.
Yeah, which is the case for Dodger games pretty frequently. I feel like it'll fill up if the stadium is sold out.
Yep. Yeah, the couple of times that we've gone to Dodgers games more recently, there's a spot not far away from the entrance to to the parking lot where we've had really good luck just finding street parking, and then you just like walk down the hill into the parking lot and then across it into the stadium. So
Yeah. It's yeah, parking there is a nightmare.
yeah,
um but yeah, so anyway, but yeah, super cool. He was just like talking about how they had a bunch of Blue Jays fans that were kind of near them, and all of them at this by the end were all just completely delirious also, and yeah, it was just apparently like a really awesome time. Like what a game, right? Like what a game to go to. Oh my god.
yeah. I'm sure, seeing the record for longest game tied,
Hmm.
and then all the other records that were set along the way.
Yeah, it just like some crazy, crazy stuff, and it was so weird. Like by the time I was just watching, and at home, and like I was getting tired. you know,
Yeah.
I'm sitting sitting on my couch, like with water and like having a it was easy for me. Like I was like nodding off by the end of it, right? And I can't imagine what it was like there. People were freaking out every time people got on base and stuff. Like he's like, it was just so much just like stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. It was like every other inning you're standing up to try and support your team or whatever. Really crazy.
Yeah, I was cracking up when they were talking about the broadcasters in the booth on the GameCast started talking about the fruit plates
Oh
that
my
got
god,
delivered to the
it was
dugouts
so
because the
funny.
players were getting hungry.
Yeah, and they're like, oh man, I wish we could have a fruit plate.
And then apparently they did get one.
Oh, did they?
Yes, late, very late in the broadcast, they were talking about how good their own fruit plate was.
Oh, that's so funny. And I bet, I feel like this is one of those rare instances. This happens during the regular season when you're watching broadcasters and they kind of just start going off the rails. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, we're out of topics to talk about. We're just going to have to talk about stuff, I guess. I don't
Y-
know. Like,
Yep.
let's find some people in the crowd. Let's look at the players in the dugout that aren't doing anything. Like, what are we going to do here? And like, that doesn't happen during the World Series, you know? Like
Yeah.
that was like regular season baseball leaking into the World Series, which was very funny to me. Especially by
Yeah.
like innings 15, 16, 17. Like you could just feel the broadcasters were like, well, guess we're still doing this.
Stretching for material.
It was very funny, very exciting, but very funny.
Yep.
Oh, all right. Well, a couple other things. Have you played anything else since our last talk, or more of anything else?
I have been playing a little more of OU. Still
Oh,
don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but
oh,
that's what I'm going to go
oh.
with. OU.
I don't know if that's right.
It has, my description to you last week that it reminded me in some ways of Baba Is You wound up being pretty spot on,
Mm.
because a couple of times now, and I think I messaged you and Andy about one of them, a couple of times now after hitting my head against a wall trying to figure out how to, make a particular jump or get across a particular room, I've put it down and been doing something totally different a couple of hours later and had that's how you do it moment.
Oh, dude, that was so me with Baba Is You. There are so
It
many
is it is a
times
hallmark of that game.
where it's just like you look at a puzzle, you're staring at a screen, not moving for like 5 minutes straight, and you're just like, I have no idea what to do. I give up. And then later that night or whatever, you're like slapping yourself on the forehead. Oh my God, I know what it is.
Yep. But yeah, so I got to the point, not long actually after we talked about it last week. I got to the point of getting the second bomb. So
Mm.
now it opens up a whole different set of mechanics. So whereas when you had just the one bomb, you would place the bomb, and when you place the bomb in this game, you automatically climb up on top of it. And if you stay on top of it, it'll launch you straight up in the air, or you can move off to one side of it or the other. And if you detonate it, it'll blast you in the correct direction. But once you get the second one, you can place them on top of each other, you still climb up on top of the tower, and you can detonate them in sequence to throw yourself even higher. So you'll be on top of two. You'll detonate the bottom one first, and it'll launch you up a little ways, and you can launch detonate the second one at the top of your arc, and it throws you up
Ah,
even higher. So now you can reach taller ledges.
this is like really complicated Metroid bomb jumping.
hmm but now you can also do some really creative things because you don't have to stack the two bombs directly on top of each other. You can stack the second one offset so that there is room for both you and the second bomb on top of the first bomb. So now you can launch yourself and the second bomb up higher into the air and then throw yourself sideways by detonating the second bomb because you're moving together right up into the air.
Oh yeah, it's like yeet yourself to the right or left or whatever, right?
Yeah,
That's cool.
exactly. So now you start opening up all sorts of different movement mechanics.
Yeah, so it's not just like up or to the left. It's like you can kind of do a right angle situation.
Mm.
Very cool. So, do you have any sense of like how much is left in this game? Like, I don't know if it's even clear.
It is not a very long game. Even with there are some secret passages that I've started finding, and even with finding those, they're like little sort of self-contained puzzles. The secret passages, and each one ends in a trophy. And they're always hidden. Once you start finding them, they're always hidden in the same way, I'll say, so as not to give too much away. So anytime you come to this particular type of room, you can look for one of these hidden passages.
Hmm.
But even with those, I think the how long to beat on it is still only around 3 hours.
Hmm. Okay.
So I've probably got, I don't know, another hour and a half maybe, because I spent a fair bit of time trying to solve and get stuck on some of those side puzzles.
Cool. Man, there was so much of Baba Is You I didn't end up doing just because I got like so brutally stuck on a couple of puzzles.
Oh, same here. Yep.
I should go back and play that game again
Yep.
one
And
day or
then there
two.
are a bunch of metal puzzles that unlock some different levels, and yeah, great game.
That's cool. I should probably check this game out, huh?
I very much think you would like it. It's one that you could pick up and get into very quickly and probably finish very quickly. So not one that you would need to invest a lot of time into, but very satisfying
Okay.
in terms of just very very slimmed down mechanics.
I'm gonna put this on my wish list.
Yep. Place a bomb, detonate a bomb. That's it. Those are your two buttons.
I like that it's simple like that. Just like you think, and then you're like, oh, but Baba Is You is so simple. You just push these things around, right? And then you're like, no, you fool.
Oh,
It's so complicated.
oh, Bambi.
Well, speaking of stuff that I did that seems simple on the surface but is not,
Yeah, what have you been up to?
there was Steam Next Fest happened a while back, and there was one more demo I had gotten up to that we didn't talk about yet. I played Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era.
Oh, talk about a throwback.
This is a new game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's being made by a studio whose name I have now forgotten. Go check it out. If people listening know about the Heroes of Might and Magic series, uh, this is a return to form, I guess. The series, like a long time ago, like the late 80s, early 90s, and was like a bunch of really popular computer games. They're turn based strategy games, really
Yes.
interesting. Yeah, they have like a combat mode and like a world map mode, and you run around and collect items and level up your hero in the world map, and then you get into battles with the troops that you're carrying and fight the other heroes, right? Try to take over all their castles.
Okay. Yep.
Um, that property got bought by Ubisoft at some point in the past. I don't know when.
Really?
Yeah, so it's been under Ubisoft since like the mid or early 2000s. And not all of the games Ubisoft put out have sucked, but a lot of them have. The most popular Heroes game was 3, for whatever reason.
Okay.
It just became like super popular and like still has like a really popular modding and competitive scene even today.
Wow. Okay.
Um, there's like complete fan made expansions and all kinds of stuff to that game. Um, for whatever reason.
Sure. Yep.
Um, and but yeah, and so this is called Olden Era and kind of is a throwback. They had started to evolve the formula and do new stuff in like by the time they were getting to 6 and 7, which are like the most recent ones. They were starting to stray away a little bit from some of the stuff. It was 3D now, it wasn't 2D anymore. There was, yeah, the overland stuff was starting to become a little bit more Civ-like, I would say, a little less, the style game that Heroes was at that time. The combat was still turn-based, but, the creatures all had like spells and abilities and stuff that was really different from, the way the creatures would just like walk over there and attack.
Right. Yeah. From the original formula.
And so they're sort of, this game really feels like they were like, okay, we see that you all liked this old style of game. We can't just make that game again, though. So, like, let's try and make a game that's true to that, but then also has, some little fun twists on the side, but really keeps that formula at the center of it. And they put in a thing that I think these games have needed for a long time, a bunch of really good tutorials, Michael.
Yes. Very important.
Especially in a game like this where there's so many weird overlapping systems, right? Like your hero levels up, but how does that matter? Well, actually, your hero stats affect your creatures. Did you know that? Like
Oh, that feels important.
the skills your heroes have can affect your creatures, but it can also like earn you extra money on the world map, or it can give you extra movement and all this stuff, right? Like, and they teach you about all this stuff. And your heroes have classes and they can level up. If you level up certain skills, you can unlock different classes that then have more or other kinds of skills, right?
Yep.
Certain heroes have more affinity towards like spells and casting spells, other ones more towards like fighting and creatures. Uh, and then they also have a bunch of really interesting combat tutorials that teach you like, hey, here's how they call your monsters stacks, right? Because you have like a stack of one type of monster, right? It's like, oh, here's
Okay.
10 goblins or whatever, right?
Sure.
And they teach you like, hey, there's a lot of really clever stuff you can do by breaking your stack up and saying like, instead of one group of 10 goblins, what if you have like one group of 4 goblins and 6 groups of 1 goblin? And there's like a lot of,
Interesting.
because the way the combat systems work, there's a lot of interesting stuff you can do with that. All creatures, when you attack them, they get to attack back, right? The other creature, if it survives, will attack you back. But it can only do
Hmm.
that once. So once it's attacked back, that's like kind of it. And everyone else that attacks it that turn is going to get, um, free hits. And so you can, cheese that a little bit with these like one creature stacks, right? Oh, here's one goblin. It attacks your giant monster. Oh, your giant monster survived. Wow. Giant monster wastes its massive retaliation on the one goblin, which dies. Oh,
And then yep,
now
you
you can
step
swarm
in.
it, right? Yeah. Or you bring your giant creature over now and kill it, right? And it can't retaliate. So they teach you a lot of that stuff, which is cool to learn. Obviously the game doesn't require deep tactical knowledge. You can just you can outsupply your enemies, right? If you have more income and more land and more resources than they do, you can eventually buy your way out of any kind of army problem, right?
Right. Yep.
But that's not fun.
Yeah. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, I want to build big dragons, Michael, and that's what's fun, right? So I had a really great time with that demo. It really felt like it captured a lot of the stuff that I really liked about that game. I'm very excited to see what they do with it. They have a whole bunch of factions that are out there that they're like, oh, here are the ones that are going to be included in the game, and a lot of stuff that's old and familiar, and some stuff that's new and cool. There's like a icebound kind of Cthulhu-y faction, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
It's like there's a lot of like frost elves and things like that summon these big ice cubes that monsters can spawn out of. Very interesting new faction that I hadn't seen before. So, and you got your classic like necromancers who make skeletons out of the dead enemies and stuff like that, which is all good fun.
Good times. Yeah, I'm looking at the page here on Steam. I like the graphics. It's very much a throwback in terms of the aesthetic, even if the graphical quality is greatly enhanced, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is like it's very legible. You like look at the map and you're like, okay, this is a pile of wood, this is a pile of gold, this is a pile of I forget what the other resources are, right? It's like nothing is super confusing. Your little dude moves along the map. It's very clear where they're going to go. Um, and you can definitely click to see before you have to commit to moving that distance, right? Oh,
Yeah,
am I going to make it or not? Well, I know, that kind of stuff. Very fun. I really had a great time with that.
very cool. It looks like the demo is still available for anyone who wants to play it.
Well, people should go check out that demo and then wish list and maybe buy that game when it comes out because it seems sweet. As a big Heroes fan, I will probably be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it doesn't have a specific date, but 2026.
yeah, it's not done. So,
Yeah.
uh, but I know another game that you will have some knowledge of that I have been playing, Michael.
Oh yeah, do tell.
I have been playing the Trails in the Sky first.
Yes. I hear you met an old friend, JJ.
He's just a professor, okay? I'm sure it's fine.
Oh yeah. Humble professor, unassuming, mild-mannered, hiding behind his specs.
Yeah. He even opens his eyes once or twice. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Nothing to see here.
No, just kindly old lost archaeologist professor. Nothing suspicious about that. Um, it's very funny playing that game again, knowing where the story goes and seeing all the stuff that's like obviously hinting at what's going on.
The little foreshadowing that you miss on a first playthrough. Yeah.
It's like, huh, Joshua really has a weird reaction to that professor guy. Huh. You know?
Yep.
Um, Very interesting. I got through the prologue and I am partway through chapter one.
Okay.
So if that tells you anything about where I am. Uh, yeah, it is still interesting how much they talked about. Oh, it's all voice acted, but it's not all voice acted.
Right, yeah. They did put a lot of it in there, but not completely.
A lot of the main scenes are acted, but like the thing that weirded me out is there's a couple of scenes where the NPC is talking and my characters are silent.
Huh.
So it's like this guy has voice lines and is saying them like in this scene, and then my character talks, Estelle and Joshua, and there's just a text box. And I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Huh. That seems like a choice, yeah.
Yeah, unusual, right? Because then a lot of the like story cutscenes and stuff are, and even the story like in-game scenes and stuff are definitely all voiced. So you're definitely hearing a lot from the characters, which is good. But it is not what I expected, I guess. You know, um, really enjoying that again. Um, Nothing bad to say about it, really. The systems are what they are. I think we talked about them on a previous episode.
Yeah, the fact that they incorporated the live on-field combat in addition to the original turn-based.
Yeah, and it makes it go through. It makes going through like battles a lot quicker because you don't. Once you get past the first like 4 or 5 times you fought an enemy, you'll probably have leveled up at least once, and then the overworld combat becomes faster than dealing with the turn-based combat.
Right, you can just quickly knock them out and blow through them, especially if you're trying to get from one place to another.
Or you can just run past them much more easily, which was hard to do in the first game.
Yes, yes, it was.
So it's definitely easy to just like run through the entire zones and not fight any of the monsters if you want to. So that's good. Uh, the other thing they added is a bunch of like achievements is the wrong word. There are achievements like normal, trophies and achievements like that, but like in-game tasks that you can do that give you stuff in the game.
Like beyond the job board from the original.
Yeah, totally, way beyond. And this is stuff that's in some of the later Trails games also, but it's just like extra random stuff.
Oh, okay.
Use your S craft 20 times. Use your uh,
Oh, stuff like that. Yes, 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 yes.
fight 50 monsters. Fill out 100 entries in your battle notebook. This kind of stuff, right?
It's like the feats in COTC.
Yeah, that's a perfect descriptor.
Yep.
Um, and some of those rewards are kind of awesome, actually. Uh, and they're not that hard to get because if you're spamming your overworld attacks or crafts or whatever, you'll start hitting some of those milestones pretty early.
Right.
And some of those, like some of the orbment stuff you get from those, the quartz you get out of them are like way better than the stuff you can buy in the prologue and chapter one.
So you can sort of break some of the early game.
Oh, like you're gonna give me like HP 2 in like the prologue,
I will
or
take that.
you're gonna give me what's the one that makes you cast faster? Is it just called cast?
Yes, it is.
It's like, oh, I'll get like cast 2 and then a um one of the ones that gives you like two of one color and one of another color, which is really rare early on in that game also, right?
Okay. Yep.
And so you're like, oh, so like I can cast like some of these like really powerful spells like really fast.
And just clear the field before the anyone else can even take a turn.
Yeah, and then later when Sherazard joins your party, she has like more stronger orbment lines because she's just higher ranking than you,
Right.
and interestingly similar in level to your characters, just because of RPG balance stuff or whatever.
Sure. Yep.
Um, but she has like more slots unlocked, and so she can just spam AOE spells really quickly, and it's a lot easier to recover your EP in this game because like breaking objects on the overworld sometimes will restore a little bit of EP or health or whatever, and
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
that stuff it makes it really easy to like allow you to run around and spam spells and like clear monsters out really quick to accomplish those feats to allow you to do like kind of snowballs. So that's been really fun. It's one of those games where it's like I don't want to think about really too much, and I'm just gonna kind of like run around and do some monsters and complete a quest here. So
Yeah, and it's nice when they make a bunch of quality of life changes that reduce the amount of grind that you have to do.
yeah, and I think like the nice thing about it too is if you want to do the grind, they're like, here's a bunch of new tools that you can do to accomplish it better and faster.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple of I don't remember were these in the original game? Do you remember? I don't know how closely you remember that game. Were there like weird caves and stuff that you could find in the regions that were just like chock a block with like a bunch of monsters all at once?
Oh, no, I definitely don't remember that.
So I don't know if those are new for this, but like it's like a tiny little cave off of like Bose Highway or whatever, like one
Mm.
of the main like roads you're running back and forth across, right?
Yep.
And inside it's just like a tiny little one room cave, and inside there is like six or eight like 8 or 10 monsters you could fight in theory all at once if you really wanted to.
Yeah, that
Um,
does not ring a bell at all. I think they must have added that.
which makes it super nice in this game for like racking up a bunch of the really hard to get like feats in this. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
you want to kill like 8 monsters at once, you get a big thing. You get a huge battle multiplier bonus, which are like, do these various things during the battle and you get more, multipliers on the Sepith and stuff, right?
Yeah, chain all these things together.
When you have like 15 enemies or 8 enemies or whatever, it's easier to do that stuff. Spam AoE spells, spam all this stuff, right? And so, uh, like, it's just been really easy to like grind up a bunch of stuff in that game if you want. And like, there's nothing required in there. None of the monsters in there are unique. There's not even treasure chests in there. So it's really just like, hey, you want to do some fights?
Yeah, practice putting a combo together or
Yeah, you want
yeah.
to test out some builds or something, which is really cool. So, yeah, man, I've been loving it. Um, but you talked a little bit about this last time, I think, and you said you started a new book.
I did. I did start a new book. So one of mine, we've talked about this in the past because I know you watched the series, but one of my all-time favorite book series is His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman.
I read all those books, to be clear.
Yes, yeah. But he several years ago now went back to the world of Lyra and Jordan College and started writing a new trilogy called The Book of Dust, and it was very interestingly framed when it was first announced that he was doing this, because he envisioned it as being three books set around the original trilogy. So the first book being, I think, 10 years before, and the second and third books being 10 years after that original trilogy. And so recently, having just caught up on Brandon Sanderson books, I was looking for something else to pick up, and remembered that the third book was just about to be published. So I think that just came out last week, as of recording this.
So you have started book one.
I have started book one, La Belle Sauvage, and I'm about halfway into it.
So we'll turn on some spoilers here because I don't remember a lot about these books, but I have read the first two already.
Okay.
Um, Tell me where you are and how you're liking it.
So right now, um, Malcolm has just um, saved Lyra from the crazy guy who's claiming to be her father. Lyra as a baby, right, in this story,
Right,
because
right,
it's
right. Yeah,
before she's even been given over into the care of Jordan College, and he and Alice, who also works at his parents' uh, tavern,
yeah. I was gonna say
have
like
escaped.
restaurant, but yeah,
Yeah,
tavern.
have escaped down the river in the middle of this generational flood that is going on.
Yeah, really weird setting for that, right? It's like they're uh like little like London life kind of slice of life thing, but like strict parents and sneaking out and
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely different. There's it's funny because Philip Pullman is very deft at this. It is setting the ground for a lot of the political intrigue and machinations that go on in his dark materials, but it never
mm-hmm.
feels like it tips fully over into that being the story, right? Like it is still solidly Malcolm's story.
Yeah, you're hearing about things that are, happening. You're meeting people and places that are important, but the characters don't know it at that time, right?
Yep.
And but then they don't really return to those things. They kind of like off doing a different thing and they're just like going through those places or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So you're liking it though? I think my memory of reading it was that I found it very strange. I didn't really know where he was going with it.
Yeah, so I'll see if I get more of that when I get into the second book, right? Because at least with the first book, I know I know where at least some of the characters wind up,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Because it does function as sort of a prequel to that first trilogy. So I have an idea of kind of broad strokes where some of these characters are going, even if the details are being filled in by this story. But yes, with the by the next book, um, I fully anticipate it to start going off on its own direction and telling its own story.
Yeah, I'm very curious when you get there to start talking about the second book also, because I'm definitely remembering stuff and I'm afraid to ask about it because I'm pretty sure you would have said something. So I think some stuff happens in there for sure. So
Okay.
are you gonna try and read this one and then read the three again and then start the next one, or are you just gonna skip straight to the second book of
No, so
Dust?
I'll skip straight to the second book in this new trilogy.
Yeah, I think that's sensible.
I've read that original trilogy enough times to have a pretty good working memory of what goes on.
Sounds good. Uh, in reading, I have been keeping up with I'll shout them out. It's a podcast on genre literature called Shelved by Genre.
Okay.
If folks want to go check it out, they're part of the Ranged Touch podcast network. I'll shout them out too. It's all these same, group of two or three guys, and this one, they're academics, so they're really like interested in breaking down the media and talking about the whys and the whats and what's happening here, like the formal type discussion,
Oh yeah.
which is really interesting when applied to a medium. In this case, like talking about genre literature, but this specific unit they're doing is on Alan Moore.
Ah, a favorite of this podcast.
Yeah, and so he has a lot of interesting books, which I'm sure you've read, and probably listeners out there have read a bunch of them. Watchmen, and he famously did a run on Swamp Thing. The Killing Joke is his book, right?
Hmm.
Um, but he has a bunch of other stuff, and they didn't do Watchmen or The Killing Joke or any of that for this. They did what was the first one? They did V for Vendetta.
Okay. Yep. Another classic.
Did you know V for Vendetta was written over the course of like 10 years or something?
I did not. I know it's an older one, but
There's a huge break of time, like during the middle of the writing of that book. It was like the
huh,
thing they were publishing it in went out of business, and they didn't finish the second part until way later.
interesting.
Yeah. But the one I'm currently reading, which is the unit that they're doing right now, is on his book From Hell.
Okay.
Did you read that one? It's pretty long.
I did not.
It's a big, thick book, and it's about Jack the Ripper.
Okay. It's another old one. That one was written in the 80s, right?
From Hell is from the 90s, I want to say.
Okay.
Mid to late 90s.
Okay. I thought it was earlier
Maybe
than that. Maybe not.
maybe later than that even. V for Vendetta is definitely from like the 80s and early 90s.
Yes.
Um, but From Hell has this really beautiful like line art style, drawn by Eddie Campbell, and it's all about Jack the Ripper. There was a movie made too. I don't know that the movie was any good, so I don't want to recommend anyone watch it.
I do remember hearing about the movie.
But there's it's about the Jack the Ripper murders, right? And there's a famous letter that comes from Jack the Ripper sent to the detectives, called the From Hell letter, and that's sort of where the title of the book comes from, and a whole bunch of stuff. And of course, the book goes to a bunch of different places. It really has very little to do. The murders are there, but that's not really the story. It is the story, but it's not really the story, right?
Right. Yep.
Anyway, so this podcast is doing a really interesting job of talking about the book and like, what's happening in it, but also like what the authors are conveying with that, like what the characters are going through, like why these moves and, why the panels done this way are so interesting, and, kind of what are the references they're drawing on here? Like what is there's a lot of those like, Alan Moore makes a lot of these, like, he's referencing other kinds of literature and he's talking about ideas and stuff from, contemporary times or whatever, and you may not like get all those references.
Right. Yep.
So it's nice to have someone kind of break all this stuff down. Oh, he's talking about Aleister Crowley here, or oh, he's talking about this other philosopher who was contemporary with him, right? Or oh, he's actually talking about something from the 20th century here, or like all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. All those references that you might not get as a more casual reader.
Right. And From Hell even comes with an appendice of Alan Moore like talking about a lot of these references, but then they're explaining the appendix because it also needs like, it's like, oh, hey, Alan Moore got divorced here. Like you might not know, but like, hey, women get mistreated a lot in the Jack the Ripper series, and Alan Moore got divorced. Do you think those are related?
Hmm.
You know, so interesting, and it's a really good like if you're looking for some like critical thinking and a good like literature discussion. I've been really enjoying listening to that. The first part of their talk about From Hell is 4.5 hours,
Ooh. Okay. So
and
they get into a lot.
and it covers the first like 9 chapters, which is like a little more than the first half of the book.
Okay.
I mean, it's several 100-page book, so like there's a lot to talk about, but also, you know, tangents. They're just
Yeah.
also shooting the stuff and talking about other things. So yeah, it's really good. I'm going to shout them out because I've been really enjoying that as I've been trying to read along and keep up. So I think the next part will come out in maybe a week or so, and that will finish their book of From Hell. So I'm going to try and finish the book and then listen to them talk about it.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. All right. I think that might be it, Michael. If folks want to reach out to us through the pages of time and talk to us through the internet, how would they do that?
They can send that to podcast at weweregamers.com. They could go find us on Facebook or on Blue Sky at We Were Gamers on both of those places. And they could go check out our YouTube playlists of some of our good content series past.